paranormal. It surrounds us. It's everywhere. Tonight, you will hear from the people who live and work within these highly active locations, all in the efforts to discover America's most haunted. With your host, ghost hunter and author, Dan Terry.
Good evening, boys and ghouls. I am Dan Terry, your ghost host with the most haunted here on the UnX Network. I've got to get Shatner to teach me how to do that. I love that clip. Anyway, so we have a new guest, one out of an area we've never been to before. And I say we bring her on. Jackie, I'm hoping I pronounce her name right, Meador. She started over 20 years ago. Am I pronouncing that right, Jackie?
Yes.
Okay.
Very good.
20 years ago, and formed eventually after doing her studies, Central California Paranormal Investigators, right?
Yes.
Okay. And gosh, you've been a busy lady. You've done television shows. You've produced television shows, TV specials, newspapers, books, and not to mention, as we talked earlier, you said there's only a couple of ghost hunting teams left in your area of any repute.
That I'm aware of, yes.
Well, let's start with what got you into this. Is not a question I ask often, but California, that's pretty awesome. How did you get involved in this?
Oh, gosh. I think it started with a love affair at 10 years old, watching ghost cartoons and Abbott and Costello and the Canterbury Ghosts on TV on Saturday mornings. So I was always fascinated, wondering who they are, why they're here, why haven't they gone to heaven, and whatever. So
Right.
And it just grew. I mean, my interest in read books, as a young teen, but and then of course get away from it, marriage, kids, education, schooling, and then once my kids were gone, it was like, what do I want to do now? I'm not the type to sit and knit, waiting for the first grandchild. So I kind of picked it up again and went to a local haunted house during Halloween and sparked my interest again and started learning. I basically started learning.
You said an interesting thing there I'd like to expand on just a little bit when you said, why don't they go to heaven?
Right.
Is this a religious calling to be a ghost hunter, or is this a scientific calling?
Scientific. No, the reason I said that was because at 10 years old, I was in parochial school. I was always taught, when you die, you either go to heaven or hell. And
Right.
So my 10-year-old mind was telling me, why are they here? I mean, why don't they go to heaven? I didn't think hell, but I thought heaven was everybody goes to heaven. So, no, it wasn't religious at all. It was just, and then it turned scientific. Okay.
Mhm.
So, what keeps them here? And that was
Right.
my next goal.
Well, when you're naming off the shows, when I was a kid, it was Kolchak that got me.
Oh, well, I still watch Kolchak in reruns.
Oh, I got it on the TV behind me right now.
Yeah, every Saturday night. Yep.
Well, you've had some pretty interesting experiences. What have you determined? What is your conclusion on why ghosts are here?
Well, let me see how do I put this. Well, I mean, it's common theory is, there's unfinished business. They died suddenly, don't know they're dead. They don't want to leave their loved ones, or something traumatic has happened, and they're afraid to go to heaven. They're afraid to meet God, depending on their religious belief when they were alive. So, I don't have any concrete experience to say, well, this is why. When you talk to the dead and you ask them, why are they here? Do you have a message? Sometimes you get a yes. I've gotten yeses. I've gotten a message. But sometimes they just say, I'm afraid.
I've seen that, yeah.
But no details. So it's inconclusive. But I guess the theory is mostly it's just there's whatever the ones that have died suddenly, they don't know they're dead. So generally we stay away from asking questions like, when did you die? It's rude. So
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think people like to talk about themselves, even about something like that.
Oh, they do, but if they don't know they're dead, they don't. Then it's a shock when you tell them, "Well, you died, and you're dead. You're a ghost." So
Hey, it might be the kindest way.
Well, okay. There's a thought. There's a thought.
So, okay, you've been doing this now for 20 years, and I've been doing it since '79.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess the thing I would really want to know is, what do you think of the changes that's come in ghost hunting over the last 20 to 40 years?
How do I put this nicely?
Don't worry about it. I'm pretty rude myself.
Well, I was happy to see the awareness, the interest way back in the early 2000s. So, and then when ghost hunters came on board, and before then, people didn't talk about it. They thought you were batshit crazy,
exactly,
or just then they kind of moved away from you. So, even the first 3 years I started doing this, I didn't tell my family. Number one, I didn't want to get the negative. I didn't want the negativity. And two, I wasn't ready to explain why. So, because I just didn't know enough. But I think when it started out, it brought awareness. It brought people together with the same interest, looking for answers, doing the research, doing the investigating. And then it kind of morphs or mutates into thrill seeking, and people just want to get a group together to see a ghost, and without actually doing the research or really conducting a really thorough investigation.
But and we've also come across the ones who get a team together so they can get their own TV show.
Yes. They see Ghost Hunters, Ghost Adventures, and they see now, and then all the shows that some of them are still alive today, and they think, well, I can do that. I can do that, but they don't realize the money. You need a sponsor. You need to have some kind of credibility up until that point.
Yes.
So, it's just not there. But I said, bringing awareness to the field was a plus. I think now, like we talked earlier, now you're seeing everything kind of condensed down, so only the really serious research investigators are still around. And the people that are out there that were thrill seeking, they've fallen by the wayside.
Probably for the best.
Yes. Well, yes.
And as far as the spirits themselves, I've said there's as many reasons as there are ghosts. I'm sure each one has their own individual reason why.
Absolutely.
Cross over.
Absolutely.
And have you determined, as I have, that their personality on the other side is the same as it was in life?
Yes.
If they were a joker.
Yes.
Great.
Yes. Yeah, if you were a happy, peppy person in life, you're going to be that way in death. Why would you change? But if you're a real a-hole, you're going to be that same way in death. And if you're a ghost and you don't want to leave, and you were an a-hole in life, you're still going to be an a-hole. That's how we get mean ghosts and nasty ghosts.
Sure.
So, yeah, they're just creepy old men and women.
The more I talk to folks who's been in this for quite a while, the more all of our opinions seem to blend.
Yes.
A few minor little things, but overall we all seem to have the same basic ideas, which comes from experience, I suppose.
Yes. Yes.
And how about your team? How many of them have been with you for any length of time?
Well, oh gosh, I've been so fortunate. I built the team starting with my husband and I, and then we went to 6 people, and then we went all the way up to 19 people. I had a psychic team. I had a team that was located in another city close to us. I had a teen unit. And it got a little bit much, but and then since COVID, so things have kind of dropped by the wayside. It's just me now, and whenever I get an investigation, I pull a team together. So I don't really have a standard team anymore, just people that I can call on when I need to.
That sounds like it come right out of my playbook. I got to tell you.
Yeah.
It's just me and a few friends I can call on when I need to.
Right.
That's awesome.
Right.
Well, you set some pretty incredible evidence, and you had some pictures. Race, would you throw one of the pictures up for me? Let her explain it. Or maybe Race is busy right now.
Took a break.
I probably needed to. So in doing this, have you come to any conclusions? We spoke of orbs. Tell folks your opinion on orbs, because I like it.
Right. And as I explained, there are two camps, and they're very controversial. Orbs are probably the most common paranormal anomaly, but the least understood. One camp believes that they're basic spirit manifestations. The other camp believes they're all dust, they're all flying insects, they're all moisture in the air, no ands, ifs, or buts. So I'm of the first. I believe that they are basic manifestations, especially when you have other evidence corroborating the orb, the spirit orb, like EVP recordings, or I think we talked about psychics, gifted people, sensitives, who say things like, there's something around my legs, I feel some energy around my legs, and that's what they are, energy. And then you take a picture and there's a spirit orb. Okay. Right. Now, and I would caution the public, for those that are listening, orbs don't run in packs. You don't see a gazillion of them in one picture. You get, usually they're loners. They're one. You see one, sometimes rare occasions you'll see three. But usually 1 to 3 orbs in a picture, and requirements that we've learned. And it's still theory, but we've learned it must be have perfect symmetry, must be have an even texture, no holes in it, and must emit its own light. And most people, the public, are not aware how to tell, and it takes an experienced investigator to be able to tell the difference.
Well, we had talked earlier when you said one thing is if there's a big dark center in it.
Yes.
It's probably a bug.
Yes, and that's it's the densest part of the anomaly, and that's usually the body of the insect, the flying insect. So that's what that is. So if it looks like a donut, it's not a spirit orb. And
if you got an orb without a flash, there's a very good chance you got a spirit there, because that means it's producing light, not.
Correct. And again, it's hard to tell. Even I have trouble sometimes. But I will tell you that if you're shooting infrared, the insects will show up gray or black. If it shows up white, then it's a spirit orb.
Oh, no, I didn't know that. I don't use infrared much anymore.
Yeah, and I don't either anymore. But I've learned that over the years, So
it's neat how, as you've been in this longer, you kind of cut away the nonsense and what's popular, and get down. Now, me, it's a K2 meter and a set of dowsing rods. That works for me.
Yeah, and keeping it simple. I mean, I'm a big advocate of keeping it simple. The best tool you have is your own body and your mind and your eyes and your ears. So keeping it simple, keeping it objective is probably the main things an investigator must have.
A team I work with in Kansas, and great guys, and they investigate well. They have very similar opinions to it, as you and I have discussed. But they got everything. They got the teddy bear. They've got a revolver because they're in the Old West area. They buy all of that stuff, and I walk in with my little bag of a K2 meter.
Well, I do too. I have the teddy bear. I've got all the other stuff. I've got sensors and cables and all that stuff. Running to electronic devices. I've got, but when it comes down to it, I guess the more experience you get, like you and I, the simpler it needs to be. A camera, a recorder, maybe a K2 meter and a thermometer, and that's it, really, and a compass. So that's it.
That pretty much covers it for me too. Yeah, right on.
Yeah.
Tell me about one of your more exciting ghost hunts.
I can tell you about my favorite place. My favorite place is at the Sierra Sky Ranch in Oakhurst, California.
Okay.
I first went there in 2003, I think. And I've been going back periodically over the last 20 years. In fact, when I teach a 6-week course, and for our overnight field trip, I take them up there and for them to put into practice what they've learned in class. And invariably, they always get something, either an orb, a picture, EVP recording, a physical witness, contact, maybe gotten touched or seen something. So always. So it's been my favorite place. I've probably been there maybe 20 times.
Okay.
But I put seminars on there. So workshops, that kind of thing. But it's active. There are 7 spirits that we know are there. There may be more. There's a nurse, there's an old cowboy, there's a couple of children, there's 2 chefs, a sous chef and a actual chef, head chef.
Do they get along?
No, they do not.
I knew it.
How did you know? How did you know? Oh my God, how did you know? Oh yeah, no, they do not get it. No, they do not get along at all. And the kitchen staff usually they can feel that tenseness, and so it creates a very tense kitchen area. So, but yeah.
The EVPs you sent, are they from there?
I'm sorry, the what?
The EVPs?
Yeah, yes, the ones I sent you, yes.
All right. I know we got at least one able to download. Race, would you play one of those for me?
Oh, you got Chris? No.
Yes.
Okay, tell me about that one. Well, then we'll play it again. What are we listening for?
We're listening for Get Out, and that was up in the loft. There's a loft on the Sky Ranch, and that was originally part of the original building, and it was an old ranch back in the 1800s, and the women and children would go up there whenever they had a raid. Bandits or whatever, they would go up there, and that's where the women and children would be safe. And then but we've got an old guy up there, and he's mean. Like I said, he must have been an a-hole in life, because he's an a-hole now, but he's up there. That's his space. He doesn't move, doesn't travel anywhere else. He stays up there, and he just does not like people, period.
Okay.
He doesn't like people. So he this isn't the first Get Out we've had. So, but yeah.
Okay. Race, would you play that again for us, please?
Oh, you got Chris? No.
Oh, that was distinct.
Yeah, you can tell the floor, because it's obviously up in the attic, and the floor was real. I mean, it's an old building, so the wooden floor was real creaky, and it's sometimes it's hard, but yeah. So that's one of the better ones.
The voice sounded almost exasperated, the way it said "get out." In two distinct words.
Yeah, he just wants to be left alone. He doesn't want anybody up in his space. Period.
Okay.
Yeah, and just this is the first time we've dealt with him. So, like I said, I've been back there I don't know how many times, but yeah, he's probably one of the more mean ones. But the rest of them are pretty nice, and they travel throughout the whole hotel. They travel. One night you might be room 7, the next night it'll be room 11. Or
Oh, wow.
yeah, so they travel. The children run up and down the halls. The guys in the kitchen, they pretty much stay there, but they're constantly bickering back and forth. And the cowboy, he roams. He likes to pop up in mirrors. If you're looking in the mirror, he likes to pop up behind you. Let's see. He died on the property. Was cutting wood, hit his leg, nicked an artery, and bled out. So, yeah. But he was an old cowboy there, and he'd been there for years, nowhere else to go. So,
that's awful. That's just really cool.
Yeah.
Race, do you have another one or a picture to throw up? One or the other?
Well, Roy, if you don't mind, we're only going to take maybe 1 or 2 more pictures, and then we'll leave you alone. We're going to be here tonight, and you're welcome to tell us a message anytime that you're ready.
Yeah, actually, listen to it. It sounds like a woman's voice, but it was supposed to be a man. That's one of the guys in the kitchen. He's the sous chef, and so we called him Roy. That's what he told us his name was. Okay. So yeah.
Well, he pretty distinctly said thank you when she said we'll leave you alone.
Right. So they're very responsive. I mean, they're communicative and they're responsive to our questions. So it's not like you're getting off the wall answers, that mean nothing because they don't relate to anything you're talking about. So we go in and we just, we start talking, and just like I would talk to you, we just start talking and, how you doing today? And hey, you got a message? And, we just want to talk for a little bit, and then we're going to leave you alone. But I mean, I found that works a lot better. And then a lot of times we'll be talking and they join in the conversation, so I mean, it happens all the time, so they make comments.
Okay. Would you play that one more time, please?
Well, Roy, if you don't mind, we're only going to take maybe 1 or 2 more pictures, and then we'll leave you alone. We're going to be here tonight, and you're welcome to tell us a message anytime that you're ready.
It does sound like a woman.
It does sound like a woman, but when I first heard it was definitely a man. I just assumed, since it's Roy, we know in the back part of the kitchen, and she called him Roy, it would be a man. But I'm wondering if maybe
another spirit wandered in.
Yeah. That's a good point. And this is an older one. This is back in 2010.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is an older one. Yeah.
All right, I think we might have one more.
They were coming into room 14. Little did they know that they had company, respectful company, who wanted to come in too.
What happened here, Leo?
I got the chills.
Yeah, but your meter's not.
Yeah, well, the meter's not. But,
there a little bit.
But no, it's right here in front of me. I mean, I have got the chills.
Albert, is that you?
Whoa, it just went to red. There's somebody here. I think we found them. Yeah.
Go up, because there's lights above you. There's a light above you and a fire thing.
Okay, well, maybe it was a false alarm, but I don't think so. And I really creeped out. There we go.
We got a nasty EVP on that one.
Yeah, we heard gunshots and everything on that EVP.
Residual.
We're coming in to visit.
Oh.
We're not going to hurt you in any way.
Oh, that's cold. We're in this room.
It's cold in here.
Yeah, it is freezing.
Very cold.
What was that?
Oh, I just got dizzy. Look,
Yeah, that's what weird.
Oh, that was 2 really good ones.
Yeah. This was our Oakhurst team, and they had gone to the ranch just, because the owners are really always very supportive. So they just went in on a Saturday night. But they had gone in and they had experiences in this one room, and that's the room that they were entering. And you heard that. And you could tell Leo, who was one of the voices on the tape, he got nauseated, he got cold, so he was sensing some other energy and then we get the EVP. So
Yeah.
So
that's pretty awesome. That was
Yeah.
incredible.
yeah.
And the way the spirit just said, "May we come in?" It's
Mhm.
incredibly polite. What kind of place was this in its day?
Well, it was a ranch in Oak Ridge, California, in 1878. It supplied. It was like a 4,000-acre ranch that supplied meat and vegetables to the miners and the loggers in the area. Let's see, there wasn't a lot of Native American activity. There was some Native Americans there, but there wasn't a lot of like marauding and raiding, that kind of thing. They were pretty peaceful. And then over time, they got taxes, ate away at the ranch, and the owner moved to San Francisco and sold the place. And then then it was let me get my facts straight here. It was a tuberculosis hospital.
Oh, wow.
Then it was in the 1940s, it was an R&R Army rehabilitation center. And then that was when it was sold to the state. Then the state sold it again, sold it as a dude ranch. So in the 50s. So it was a dude ranch in the 50s, and then private owners bought it in the 70s, I believe. Yeah, the 70s. So, and each one of our spirits is from a different time area. So our cooks are from the 50s, and the nurses from the 30s, and we've got a soldier in one room, and he's from the R&R in the 40s. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great that you got the history of it that way,
Yes.
too.
Yes.
That always helps.
Yes.
Okay. Race, would you mind playing that one more time so we can hear it again?
They were coming into room 14. Little did they know that they had company, respectful company, who wanted to come in too.
What happened here, Leo?
I got the chills.
Yeah, but your meter's not.
Yeah, well, the meter's not.
Oh, there a little bit.
But no, it's right here in front of me. I mean, I have got the chills.
Albert, is that you?
Whoa, it just went to red. There's somebody here. I think we found them. Yeah.
Go up, because there's lights above you. There's light all above you and a fire thing.
Okay, well, maybe it was a false alarm, but I don't think so. And I really creeped out.
We got,
There we go.
We got a nasty EVP on that one.
yeah, we heard gunshots and everything on that.
Residual.
We're coming in to visit.
wow.
We're not going to hurt you in any way.
Oh, that's a little weird in this room.
It's cold in here.
Yeah, it is freezing.
Very cold.
What was that?
Oh, I just got dizzy. Look,
Yeah, that's what weird.
I love that.
That is good. Yeah.
That's part of our documentary we made at the ranch. When I first started making documentaries, I started with Leo and his wife Marilyn from Hanging Tree Productions, and together with CCPI, we made this documentary. We did 4 others, but this was the first one we did. So
Now, are those available for anyone to watch anywhere?
yes. I'm trying to think now. Yes, there are. We have a YouTube channel through our CMAC, which is our Community Media Access channel here in Fresno. They're there on their YouTube site. I do post them and do run air reruns every once in a while. So, but there's 4. See, there's the ranch, there's a vets building, the winery, the Jeffrey Hotel. Yeah, there's 4. There's 4.
And how would folks look that up on YouTube?
Oh, it'd be www.cmac.tv.
Okay.
And then you pull up that link, and that's the station. And then you just hit entertainment and then bring up Paranormal Journeys.
Okay.
And that's it.
That's pretty cool. Are you still producing things like this?
No.
Okay.
I'm thinking about getting back into doing it. I mean, it was a lot of work.
Yes.
But right now I'm doing starting a series of specials. So I wanted to do one on vampires and werewolves, and I started with The Modern Witch, which I'm in post-production now, so that will air hopefully in the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
But then I'm going to be doing things on like religion, Wicca, paganism, that kind of thing. So, what I do is I get a panel together, and then we discuss, ask questions, and discuss. It's more of an informative, educational thing than really anything else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you'll let me know when it happens so we can keep an eye out for it.
Sure. I appreciate that.
You sent some photos. I guess a lot of them are from this ranch also.
Yeah, everything's from the ranch here.
Okay. Race, would you throw one of the photos up, please?
Okay. The top picture is the picture of the ranch as it looks today. The bottom 3 pictures were taken in 2005. And the first 2, picture 1, picture 2, were taken by Scott Mosma, who I was with. And then the third picture was taken by me. Now, we were standing side by side. He took picture 1, picture 2, and then I took picture 3. So you could tell the mist. That's the pear tree in front. And you can tell it dissipating in picture 2. Yes. So actually picture 2 is the better of the 3 because you can see all around the mist. And so you can't mistake it for cigarette smoke or chimney smoke or anything else. And it's actually dissipating inward, not out.
Okay.
So. And
am I just morphing it, or is there faces in it on the first one?
No, I didn't see. Well, I didn't see any faces. No.
Okay.
It might be pareidolia, but
it must be. But I swear I see 2 separate faces in there. One looking at the camera, and a smaller one on the left looking away.
Yeah.
Okay. It's probably just my own crazy mind. Well, what else have you done besides the ranch? I know you've been around a long time. I'm sure you've done quite a few.
Gee, thanks, Dan.
Hey, 20 years. I got 30, almost 40
wow.
years.
Oh, wow. I'll never catch up. I've been over. It's been as far east as Alabama, far north as Washington State. I've been into Mexico. I've had experiences. The best probably, I guess, physical experience I've had would have been in San Antonio, Texas. I went to a conference. That night was an investigation at this place called the Park Inn Hotel in downtown San Antonio. And it was, we had a Texas T-storm, so we had lightning and thunder and rain, and it went on for like 4 or 5 hours. We got some of the best experiences. Chandeliers just started moving back and forth, doors opening and closing. We got a bunch of EVPs, no pictures, but I got my first class A EVP there. And
what was it?
A guy's name. We've got 4 women in a room, and we're talking and we're asking questions because our sensitive was saying, I feel somebody here. So we start doing an EVP session, and we ask him his name, and he says Emilio, and it is so clear. And then we ask him his last name, and he gives us his last name. So, yeah, and he was smoking a cigarette, so we could smell the smoke. And he got a little, how should I say, he got a little forward, and he touched one lady on her back and one lady on her chest. I think he gave me a kiss on the cheek as I walked across the room. I felt something here on my cheek. And so then we told him it was inappropriate. He shouldn't do that. And he got all huffy, and he turned around and walked away. And we could tell because we followed the cigarette smoke out the room and down the hallway, and then it was gone. So, yeah.
There was a song called Ghost of a Texas Ladies Band that was written out of a hotel somewhere in Texas, and I think it was San Antonio, about the ghost of that hotel who was a former owner and considered himself quite the ladies' man. And I know he was Hispanic. I wonder if it was the same place.
I don't know. I don't think this. Well, I don't know. I don't think this. The hotel had a reputation for being mafia owned and visited by, and they were rooms that were wasn't like a whole, tourists didn't go there to rent a room. I mean, they were pretty much like live-in apartments. And but we were investigating because we had heard the story of the Red Room, and which is supposed to be a room where they had card playing and prostitutes and all kinds of illegal activities. And so we were searching for the Red Room, and we didn't necessarily find it, but we did find out that it moved. It never stayed in the same room the whole time. It moved to different rooms. But this guy was, his last name was Velasco. So we figured he was Italian, probably in mafia connected. Cesar Chavez was there visiting and negotiations about strikes. And but yeah, it has quite a history.
Yeah.
Sounds like history. Yeah, it was abandoned at the time. 3 investors had just bought it and were going to fix it up. I was just back in Texas, and it's been refurbished, so it's still there.
No, good.
Yeah.
You said Alabama. We're in North Carolina here, so it's all in the South. What'd you find down that way?
Oh my gosh, that's so long ago. I traveled with a friend, and this guy was making a documentary about the Old South, hauntings in the Old South, and we went back there to kind of join in, and we went to. Oh gosh, what was the name of that? It started with an N. It was a university.
Okay.
And we got some really good EVP stuff there. A lady up in the upstairs bedroom, and I wish I should have said it to you. But we got. I'm sitting up there, and I'm with another lady, and she's sitting in the rocking chair, and I'm sitting on the couch in the bedroom, and we hear the footsteps, and then we start asking questions, and we get this, answers, and they're very responsive to our questions. So, it's been incredible. And of course, the floor was old as a wood, so you could hear the footsteps. And of course, nobody's there, but us. I want to say Montgomery. It was near Montgomery, just north of Montgomery.
Now that's a very historical area because of the civil rights movement.
And the Prattville. We were in Prattville, just north of Montgomery, and there's a university there. I don't remember the name, but yeah. So it was great. We had a great time.
Did you do any sightseeing while you was there?
Yes, Prattville was interesting. Cemetery, went into the swamp. There's 4 of us, and we traveled out to Bear Creek Swamp. It was at like midnight, and it was September. I think we went in September. Anyway, we were traveling on this dirt road right next to the canal, and we stop. And I see something in the distance, and it's like a light, and I'm going, is that a reflective something or other? So I get out of the car, and of course the mosquitoes and the things are all over me, and I hear the bullfrogs, I hear the alligators, I take my pictures, and I'm fascinated. Nobody else would get out of the car. They were afraid.
Well, was it the alligators or the rattlesnakes?
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, nobody else would get out of the car. They were all too afraid. So I finally got back in the car. We took off, but yeah, it turned out it was a mosquito, but this sucker was huge. It's huge. Because when I got it home, I blew it up, and sure enough, it was a big mosquito.
Yeah, I think that's the state bird of Alabama, isn't it?
Yeah, could be.
That's all right. North Carolina, we got the stink bug, so they're everywhere.
Yeah.
All right. You have traveled quite a bit. What other places have you ghost hunted in?
Oh gosh. Tucson, Arizona.
Oh wow.
Queen Mary, Long Beach. We've been up to the Jeffrey Hotel in Coulterville, which is an old gold mining town, and got some really great. You should take my classes up there as well for their overnight trip. So then there's been San Francisco, the Queen Anne Hotel. Gosh, I can't name it. I can't remember them all. But yeah, we've been 20 years worth, it's like, and for a while there. Then we do, our main expertise lies in residential hauntings. So that's where most of our business was. We do these other things just with conferences or, just for a vacation. You know,
I do understand.
We'd go to a haunted site just to get away and have some fun. Yeah.
Well, yeah, give us a story on one of the residences. That's what I actually did.
Yeah, and I enjoy that because I enjoy the interaction with the clients, and I think we were talking about groups earlier. I think that's one thing they're lacking would be interview skills when you're dealing with clients and they're going through. They're traumatized because they got stuff going on. They have no idea what's happening. So you're there to calm them down, get the evidence, show it to them. A lot of times, you know, it's a family member. And they're okay then. They're okay, you know. So, but yeah, I'm trying to think which one is this lady, husband and wife. She's got a house right here in Fresno, and she's got antiques and collectibles everywhere, every nook and cranny. From coffins to mannequins to dishes to everything you could possibly imagine. And she's got, and it's a beautiful collection and very well kept. So we walk in there and took my psychic and we went in and we got an older lady in the kitchen who likes to keep things tidy and will move things around. We've got a little boy who likes to play with the antique lunchboxes, and you can hear him on a video where I asked him which one he likes best. He says, I think it's the Cowboys and Indians lunchbox. And then, Popeye. He likes the Popeye lunchbox. That's what he likes. And then we've got, her husband was very psychic, and he'd see them moving around all the time. But yeah, so that was but when we went in there, I mean, he was afraid. He didn't want to come face to face with it, but she wanted answers. So we gave in, we went in and we got her answers. And after that, she was okay. And even he was okay with it once he knew who they were and why they were there. So
I had one guy called in, and I'm sure you've had the same experience. Every time there is a new movie come out, people are calling because there's a demon in their house.
Oh, Lord. Yeah.
Every time. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Had the problem. His son's girlfriend got slapped and all this. So we get there and we find out this bedroom that is the son's was his mother's, and she passed away there. I talked to her by way of the rods. And what we determined was the son and the girlfriend, who was 12 and 13, was doing things that grandma didn't much approve of.
I've had that happen. Yeah, I've had that before. Yeah.
Well, I went down there to tell him, explain it to him, and I swear I thought the man was going to beat me right there in the room. His mother died. She went to heaven. People go to heaven or hell. That's it. It's a demon. Do something.
Yeah.
Gave the rods to his wife. She went up with two of my investigators, comes back down, throws the rods in his chest and says, you go upstairs and talk to your mother. He went up there determined to prove otherwise, comes back about 30 minutes later and said, I'd like to apologize, sir. That is my mother up there. And he said, if you'll excuse me, I got to call my son, tell him to get his ass home.
I love it. God, I love it. Yeah.
I love the way when these movies come out, everything's demonic.
Oh, my God. You know, people don't realize, and I've got a very good friend who's, she's a medium, and she deals a lot with negative energy, which can be demonic. But I mean, people don't understand. Demons don't just pop up out of the woodwork. You know, they're very rare. They do happen. I'm not going to say they don't happen.
Absolutely.
But they're very, very rare. Very rare. So, and she's really good at dispelling the negative energy. And we've actually done a couple cases together where she's done that. Like I mentioned earlier, they were minor demons, so it didn't take a whole lot of coaxing. How much? And this guy was nasty. Oh, this guy was nasty. He called me all kinds of names, you know.
Now, was that demonic or was that just an evil man?
No, that's an evil man, but we had another case where he was demonic, but it was a lower demon, and he'd been picking on the teenage girl.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, then you have to think, okay, is it her? Is it demonic? What is it? But we finally got confirmation that it was another entity, and he's in her closet. He'd move things around, and she was afraid, and so we went in, and apparently she's very psychic, but didn't know it. But my friend got rid of him, and she said it was very easy. But he didn't want to leave. Yeah. But the teenage girl, ended up going to my friend to learn how to shield and get her borders and how to ground herself so that she didn't get overwhelmed in the future. So that worked out really well.
Well, in the 79, over 40 years I've been messing around in this field, I've come across one demonic case, maybe. I still have doubts.
Right.
The experts say it was. I say it was way too easy got rid of to be one. So, but that's just my own opinion.
Well, the way my friend explained it, she says if it's a minor demon, she says generally, you can do a purge, a blessing, and a whole ritual to get rid of him. It doesn't take a whole lot. It's the higher ups that you got to worry about. So, right. But this one was, it did not put it over months. Now, this didn't happen overnight. People get confused. You don't get a demonic activity just like that. So it was over a progression of a few months that he was influencing her dreams, her self-confidence, her, all that kind of stuff with the object to possess her eventually. So that's where we were with that. But he was easy to get rid of.
It was infestation.
Yes.
Then
yes.
Oppression. It sounds like she was starting to get into the oppression stage.
Yes, and you're right.
Then possession. So
you're right.
We've got one more image here that you sent. I think we need to take a look at it and you can explain it to us.
Oh yeah, and you'll see the orb on the right-hand side of the picture there, and that's what I'm talking about. It's symmetry, it's even texture. You can see through it, and that's okay, but it's got to have an even texture. So, and it's emitting its own light.
So that was not taken with a flash.
Correct. Well, I take it back. It was a flash. There was a flash.
Okay.
Yes.
But it's perfectly round.
Yes.
It's pretty equal, but I can see the thing in the background.
Yes.
Is that some kind of wall hanging?
A lamp. Okay. I thought it was a lamp, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, you're probably right. So, as we talked about earlier, I've always said that the way to tell is that they produce their own light, but you've come up with two other tests.
Yes.
And again, I have an incredible photo taken in a completely dark enclosed cell of a square a square light anomaly. I don't know what else to call it. You're right. It's not an orb.
Right. Well, like I said, 3 requirements. If it's missing one of those requirements, it's not a spirit. But the square object that you caught, like I said, inconclusive. I'd have to look at it, number one. But could it be something else? Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, there's no, how do you say this? I don't want to say there's no right answers, but there's always something new they're throwing at us.
Yes, yes. Always an experience. I don't know how much time we have left, but I just learned something new. I had an experience, and then I learned it was called. I pulled up the it's called Aport and Asport.
I have no idea.
I know. Have you ever experienced an object missing and then show up at another place?
Yes.
Okay, well, apparently that's called, there's a name for it. Oh, gosh.
I called it harassment.
There's an aport, and there's an asport, and there's a jot, J-O-T-T. And apparently a jot is when an object is in one place, and then you go to look for it, and it's in another place, and no explainable reason how it got there.
Okay.
So, yeah, but I don't know if you have enough time for me to relate that experience, but my case manager and I were doing a preliminary interview, And we were sitting at a dining room table with the couple. Now, this was an old stagecoach inn back from the 1800s. And a family was living there now. And they were having activity but didn't understand what was going on. But throughout our interview, we didn't move from the table. We didn't get up. And he's a chain smoker. And he kept digging in his pocket for his lighter, a white lighter. And he'd light a cigarette, and then he'd put the lighter back in his pocket. I must have observed that 3 or 4 times.
Right.
After the hour, we got up, take a break, and get a tour of the house. And he went to dig in his pocket for the lighter. The lighter was gone. It wasn't there. Looked on the ground, thinking maybe it fell. No, wasn't there. So he pulled in the other pocket. He pulled out a book of matches. He goes, it happens all the time. So we get up and we take a tour of the house. And this dining room, but the kitchen was attached, and it's huge. It's a commercial kitchen, and it's huge. And as we're walking through the kitchen, on the far end of the room where the counter ends is the white lighter.
Wow.
Yeah, and we were there the whole time. Nobody got up. Nobody got up.
Nobody went near there. Yeah.
Nobody went near there.
Okay.
That was my first experience with that.
Jackie, I could talk to you for hours because you and I have shared a lot of the same or similar experiences.
Oh, that's nice. That's kind.
But we have to cut loose here pretty quick. Yeah. Where can people see some of these videos and documentaries of yours?
Well, you can go to our website at www.ccpifresno.com. Or no, .org. I'm sorry, .org, O-R-G. We have a Facebook, Paranormal Journeys, which is our TV show, at www.facebook.com/Paranormal Journeys. We air our shows every month. You can go to the www.cmac.tv to their playlist, their YouTube channel will have all our shows, documentaries. And you can and if you want to email me at ccpifresno@aol.com, I can send you the link. So,
all right. Well, your stories have been awesome. Thanks for coming in, Jackie. I appreciate it. And I hope to bring you back soon so we can talk some more.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate the invite. And yeah, looking forward to seeing you again.
All right. Well, take care.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, folks. I really like her style. It's similar to the way I do things and others, the people that I've worked with. So I think we need to keep an eye on this lady. I think she's going to be pretty special for us. And her stories were just amazing. Hey, real quick, I just want to hit what's coming up in May 13th is the West Virginia Paranormish, which is that huge deal. It's in Oak Hill, West Virginia, outside of Charleston. And the guest list is like looking at my guest list on the show. Austin Stanley from Mountaineer Paranormal. We got Chitan Noir from Sasquatch GQ. Tanya Webb from the old hospital on College Hill, the haunted hospital. April Morgan from Charleston Ghosts. They've all been on my show. David Scott Worley from Haunted Beckley. And there's going to be so many more there. This is the big one for this area, for West Virginia. So if you get the chance, check it out. You can check it out on Facebook under Paranormish and look under Austin Stanley for Mountaineer Paranormal. He's the one kind of helped putting it together. Also, coming up in October, we've got the XCon 2023, Blue Springs, Missouri. I'll be speaking there on October 13th. That's Friday the 13th. Be talking about ghosts. We'll have specialists on UFOs, on cryptids, and of course, my topic, ghosts. So if you get the chance, you can find that by going to this website, unxnetwork.com, check on events, and it'll say XCon. Got to get your tickets. I think this is going to go fast, and this is the second one we've done. The last one was awesome. I think you need to really come in on this on the ground floor. I believe this will one day be as big as the UFO conference down in Eureka Springs, Arkansas. It's going to be the ghost thing, the paranormal conference for the Midwest. And a quick reminder, don't forget, every Friday night, Phenomenon Radio with Race Hobbs, talking about UFOs. He is the expert on UFOs. Man scared to death of ghosts, expert on UFOs. So for Race, of course, Jackie, thank her again for showing up and for being an outstanding guest. I love when they got so many stories like that. It's just incredible. But you've got a job to do. Go to the UNX Network and become a member. It's free. You get the magazine digitally sent to you every 4 months. Check it out. It's really awesome. And the most important thing you've got to do is stay spooked. Good night.